Hey, I think it's time to address the issues with solo shuffle queue times for DPS, why players don't play healers, and offer a few ideas on how to fix it. I came into this expansion excited about the prospect of solo shuffle, as it's the entire reason I bought the expansion and resubbed to World of Warcraft. After 16 years of playing a healer, I could actually play a DPS spec and have a new experience with the game. I told everyone when I came back that I would not be playing a healer at all. Well, that didn't age well. Reality quickly set in. No one is playing healer, and queue times are through the roof. 7-minute average? Okay, Blizzard. Now, I did go in with the understanding that the queue times would be longer for DPS, but I did not think it would be to this extent. So being that I don't have a ton of time to play the game, I at least want to play a game I'm paying monthly for. I switched to healer for those sweet 5-second queues, and I'm able to get in matches quickly and push my rating up, but something felt off. It wasn't the role I wanted to play. It felt like it did in Wrath of the Lich King when I made my first real push in competitive arenas. I was filling health bars. I was filling health bars as I did in Cataclysm. I was filling health bars as I did in Mist of Pandaria. I was filling health bars as I did in Warlords, Legion, BFA, and Shadowlands. And with each expansion, the changes came rolling through for classes, like Survival Hunter, Outlaw Rogues, Enhancement and Ellie Shamans and their many reworks, Void Form Shadow Priests, ping-ponging warriors getting even more ping-pongy, and just about every DPS class has been reworked to deal damage in more fun and creative ways. But where did that leave healers? Sure, we got some changes here and there. Discipline priests could heal through atonement by damaging enemies with spells and had a balance between damage and healing abilities, but it wasn't so strong that they could just completely ignore the main part of their toolkit, filling health bars. Druids got their tree form removed and put on a cooldown. What do they do now? Ramp healing over time to fill health bars. Holy Paladins have gone through several changes, one of them being accidental with the Glimmer build from BFA and the melee build that they're currently using. Yet, they're still filling health bars in uninspired ways. They still have to cast Holy Light and Flash of Light. Shamans are using a mechanic that's been outdated since Cataclysm, totems, with Blizzard attempting to fix this mechanic by turning them into cooldowns instead of steady flow of buffs that they could juggle, which I would argue is worse than the previous iterations of totems in the classic versions of the game. But you know what shamans do the most? Cast Riptide and Healing Wave to fill health bars. But hey, we got a brand new healing class. The Evoker brought with it some very powerful burst healing throughput, the Empower mechanic, the ability to fly and get into better positions by zipping around the battlefield. But at the end of the day, you're doing what shamans do. Pop an instant cast CD and shooting out instant hard cast healing and filling up health bars. They're kind of this weird combination of the monk mobility with the heal over time of the druid and the big instant heals from the shaman. Now, in the general sense of the word, a healer should have fill health bars as a core thing that they do. But after leveling and playing 3 different healers to try to find something different or fun, I found that they are all distinctly the same. And I think that Blizzard knows that, which is why the changes to Discipline Priests recently were so impactful to how they fill health bars. They found a way to make caster DPS mains have an easier time switching to a healing class, as it's a spec that heals through casting damage. So where am I going with all of this? Well, I think after 19 years, that it's time for Blizzard to rework how healers play their role and how healing should be looked at in general. As it stands, the healer role doesn't have agency in PvP. You know this is true because of how the names of arena compositions are now based on the DPS, with the healer being interchangeable. Just fill health bars, you healer you. We'll do the rest. Yeah. Go get him, Tiger. Ah. So here's what I propose. Commit to a specific playstyle with some variation in each class. As a paladin, why should I wait 45 seconds to have Avenging Crusader come back so I can go have fun in the mosh pit of melee? Just fully commit to making the paladin a melee healer. Hit things in melee, heal everything in a radius around you. Give the class some unique melee cleave healing abilities, and give the class an option to use a two-handed weapon to increase healing done and damage done at a cost of its own survivability. Or for healers that don't have a lot of damage themselves, like the druid, maybe have their damage output be given in short castable buffs on the team. And there's a lot of unique things you could do with that, not just buff haste for 3 seconds or whatever. Like maybe a buff that causes damage done to inflict a bleed for the percentage of the damage dealt over 2 abilities. Or make single target abilities do 20% cleave in a cone in front of the DPS it was cast on. What Blizzard has done with the pre-spell mind games is an awesome concept. Why not have a healer that does more CC without causing loss of control? A debuffer, like debuff a DPS so that 50% of his damage goes out as a damage over time instead. Maybe bring back mana burn in the sense of having a debuff on the enemy healer that reduces healing done by 30%, but lowers the cast time of healing by 20%, making the healer have to cast more heals in a shorter time frame to overcome the difference. Even something that causes spells to take 50% longer to cast instead of having an interrupt in their toolkit. These are just some ideas that give healing classes more variance in how they operate in the game. More ways to give the healers agency. If you fix the core reason players don't play healers by making them fun, giving them opportunities to make the game-changing big brain 1000 IQ plays, well, the simple math would be that more players will find themselves playing healers. Before I end this video, I have heard 2 other methods to get the queues to pop quicker for DPS. The first would be to give rewards to players that play healer. The caveat to that, however, is that it gets people to play something they don't have fun playing or want to play, just to get that reward in the end, which leads to a whole mess of other problems and toxicity. The other method is a sound method, but it does ruin the fun of how solo shuffle is ingeniously designed. Remove the multiple rounds so that the small number of healers that are queuing currently can rotate between the larger sum of DPS players that are waiting. Basically turn it into arena skirmishes with rating attached. These would be the quickest solutions, and I hope would be the short-term solutions. But you know how it goes. The easiest solution, even if it's the wrong solution, is the road most traveled. I'm no game designer. I'm just a thug booty. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment on some of the ideas that you had to fix solo shuffle. And yeah, see ya.